What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. I'm Seth Floyd Hansen. This is the Seth Floyd Show live Wednesday night hangout tonight. We are previewing week 9 of this bananas 2024 NFL season that none of us can seem to make any kind of sense of. The picture of the 2024 NFL season is a little more clear than it was previously, but man, does it still keep you guessing? Probably later into the season more than we've ever seen before. Going through a little rebrand. I thought I'd switch it up. I moved the flag around um, to my Texas come and take it flag. If you're from Texas, you know. If you don't know what the come and take it flag is, do some research. It's a Texas history thing. Uh, it's one of the coolest ways a state ever earned their independence, earned their own, their liberty, their freedom. If you live in Texas, you know a lot of people rock this flag. And oh man, are you guys at mom and dad's, or are you just at your place? Sorry, I'm not there, guys. Sorry, I'm not there right now. Um, anyway, rebranding a little bit. Might start covering more league stuff than just 49ers stuff. Uh, Also the red. I know I don't have the border tonight because it's a live show, but when we do like my other videos and I have that border that Josh puts on that border, the red kind of clashes with the purple and stuff. So anyway, just thought I'd switch it around, switch up the light color and whatever. Who cares? Just thought I'd mess around with it and see. And if any of you have strong opinions about the backdrop of some of these videos, let me know. Let me know. I will gladly take some things into consideration. But one comment I want to look at, my man Shaq Nums, Donnie. Okay, I just feel more comfortable calling you Shaq Nums. Okay, I just think that's an all-time name. But you brought this up last show before the trade deadline. We've already seen some trades go down. Okay, the most recent Deontay Johnson, okay, heading to the Ravens, was really bummed. That was a guy I wanted the 49ers to go after. Kyle Shanahan was a known like fan of his, big time fan, and would have loved to have him in the red and gold, but they went. I don't know. He didn't even give up that much. It was like a pick swap. So Carolina gets Baltimore's 5th round pick and Deontay Johnson, and Baltimore. Excuse me. They get Baltimore's 5th round pick. Baltimore gets Carolina's 6th round pick and Deontay Johnson. But I read a thing that said if he re-signs with the Ravens next year, then the Panthers get their pick back. So whatever, kind of a weird trade, kind of a weird deal. But that was a big one. Especially for the Ravens, who it's crazy. It's crazy that like, and I've been as critical of Lamar as anybody, but Lamar's had 2 MVP seasons without any true receivers. Really, Isaiah Flowers is a nice piece, but not like a reliable. He's never had a number one receiver, so maybe I've been too harsh on Lamar. My biggest criticism of though has been in the playoffs, which is completely fair. But as far as like his ability as a quarterback to get wins. Incredible that he's done it without a number one. Deontay Johnson's probably not a number one, but certainly helps them. Who man? Cam Robinson traded to the Lions, or excuse me, traded to the Vikings after Christian Darrisaw tore his ACL, so that was a big one. It's crazy. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if are there any trades you guys are hoping to happen. I know as a 49ers fan, I'm hoping. Look, if the 49ers are gonna do anything, man, this is all windy out here. Some stuff in my garage. If the 49ers are going to do anything, it's going to be they're going to trade for a D lineman or an edge rusher. My dream, like I have a couple pipe dreams that'll never happen. The first being Myles Garrett. I've said that before. I would trade multiple 1st-round picks for Myles Garrett. Wouldn't even think twice. I'll figure out the money later. Dexter Lawrence for the Giants. Would love Dexter Lawrence. That's probably also a 1st-round pick. You could argue he's the 2nd best interior lineman behind Chris Jones. I'd also be wide open to a DeForest Buckner reunion from the Colts. He is probably not on the block. The Colts are still in it for the division, even though they're not going to win the division. But who knows? They're going Joe Flacco now, which I'm more of a fan of Joe Flacco than Anthony Richardson at this point. So who knows? But he's probably not realistic. So anyway, those are some of the names out there. Doesn't look. I don't think Cooper Kupp's getting traded. Not after the Rams beat the Vikings. So it doesn't. None of that stuff's really going to happen. Shaq Nums, I'm sorry, man. So David Njoku, maybe. Kyle Pitts, though. The Falcons like lead the division. They're not going to sell off Kyle Pitts right now. They are going to be buyers, if anything. Probably won't do much, but David Njoku, that's a real possibility. But who knows with Jameis, my boy, Jameis Winston. How crazy is it that Deshaun Watson has never had a 300-yard game with the Browns, and then Jameis's first start for the Browns goes over 300 and wins the game, beats the Ravens? Crazy. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. Amongst other things, Scott, I don't even know what to say. I'm not in the, you know me. I won't rub it in too hard, Scott. Scott and I watched the first half of the game together, and it was scary in the first half if you're a 49ers fan. I was worried, though I knew they were mostly shooting themselves in the foot with those penalties. Okay, so that was killing them. But they really turned it on in that third quarter. That fourth quarter got weird. Like, ultimately, that's on the defense, but they're playing that prevent, and they suck at prevent, apparently. Like, prevent, when you're up 3 scores, makes sense. Because you're like, look, I'm just trying to keep everything in front of me. I'm trying to kill the clock. But when you play prevent, you got to give up less than 10 yards of play. And they were giving up like 25 yards of play, and the Cowboys just scored easily twice. And then guess what? They went out of prevent on that last drive. The Cowboys had the ball, and it was 4 straight incompletions. So they better tighten some stuff up in prevent if they're going to play it. I'm like, with how bad prevent has looked, you might as well just play them straight up the rest of the way. But whatever, they got the win. No 49ers game this year that they win will let me relax. It's not going to let me relax. That's just, it's like Giants baseball. Most of you aren't Giants fans, I'm sure. But if Joey watches this after the fact, it's torture being a Giants fan, San Francisco Giants fan, because it's always drama. It's always drama. So I'm sorry, Scott. I know you've given up all hope. I'll see you tomorrow, and we can talk more about it there. But I feel for you, man. I feel for you. I think it's time for McCarthy to go. And I'm sure the wind is out of your sails. And now you got to play a tough Atlanta team. You play them at home, right? At least that might help, though. You don't have any wins at home yet, so maybe not. Javonte being traded makes sense. The problem is, like, what are you getting for a Javonte Williams? Like, you're not getting more than a 7th round pick. I wouldn't think. Maybe a desperate team, 6th round pick, like maybe the Cowboys, but the Cowboys aren't going to be buying at the deadline. I wouldn't think. Scott, you don't think that the Cowboys are buying at the deadline, do you? I would think they're going to sell. So I don't know. I mean, fine if they want to trade away Javonte, but a day 3 pick, a late day 3 pick, fine. But it is what it is. I'll get some more of this, guys. Let's keep leaving comments. I'll get to some more of it. My thumbnail, I wanted to talk about a few things going. A couple of these teams that are in bad shape. It's not looking good. And the number one team at the top of the list, and I'm going to hit on a couple that I think are in good shape. The number one that comes to mind is Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is their fans. Tampa Bay fans, if you're in the chat right now, I don't think you are. If you watch this after the fact, like, just know I feel for you, because you are going through it as bad as any fan base right now. I think the Vikings fans are going through it right now a little bit. You've dropped 2 in a row after I've already declared them the best team in the NFL and then the best team in the NFC, and then you lose a tough game, short week on the road, and you lose your starting left tackle. I get it, but you're the main pieces of your team are intact. You're 5-2. Like, you've got some get right games because you play a 4th place schedule or a 3rd place schedule. But Tampa Bay fans, after you lose Mike Evans for 4 weeks, like, at least he's coming back, but 4 weeks. Chris Godwin out for the year. You lose to Baltimore. You lose to Atlanta in a game where you were in it and could have won. In your next 2 games, man, I'm just telling you. So you've got the Chiefs on the road. I believe it's on the road. Monday Night Football. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, I mean, one is the Chiefs, who have not lost yet. And the Chiefs are going to lose a dumb game this year. It very well could be you guys. And as a 49er fan, I kind of hope, make sure this, as a 49er fan, I hope you beat the Chiefs for the simple fact of one, I don't like the Chiefs, but two, we play you guys the week after that. Not only that, but Bucks fans, you guys are on a short week. You're playing on Monday Night Football. The 49ers are going to be coming off their bye week when they play you. So they have this huge 8-day rest advantage. And don't anyone complain to me about rest advantage. The 49ers are the only team, when you look, if you've looked at those charts, you've looked at are they, for the whole season, are they plus or minus rest advantage? If you're plus, it means you have more rest days than your opponents, cumulative opponents. If you're minus, it means your opponents overall combined have more. The 49ers are the only team in the NFL with at least negative 20 rest days. They're at negative 21. Negative 21. That means when you add it all up, their opponents over this season had 21 more rest days. The next closest team, I can't remember who it is, but there's at 17. 17. No one else is even at 20. The 49ers had to play 3 teams coming off their bye. Okay. You're playing, you played Kansas City. You played Dallas. Thankfully, you won that game. And then you play Seattle in 2 weeks coming off their bye. So don't talk to me about, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But I'm just saying that's a tough spot to be in because you guys are down bad. You're hurt. Mike Evans won't be back in 2 weeks. And so Tampa Bay is facing 4 straight losses in the face right now. I don't even know what their schedule is after the 49ers. You should get, it sounds like Mike Evans will be back. I think you have a bye week right after the Niners, and then Mike Evans will be back. But you guys are facing 4 straight losses. If you lose to the Chiefs and then the Niners, you're 4 straight losses, and it's doom and gloom after Baker Mayfield was having what looked like the best year of his career. So hopefully you guys get it done on Monday night. Because I say I want you to beat them because if you lose to the Chiefs, it means we're going to get the most desperate version of Tampa Bay against the 49ers in week 10, which is always a scary thing. Now the Niners come off a bye week. You should be getting CMC back that week. So who knows? But I'm just saying, man, I feel for Tampa fans. My other team I was going to bring up, we could talk about the Vikings. I hit on them a little bit. My other one, though, is as I'm coming your way, Scott, I feel for the Cowboys a little bit. Just because that fan base had no hope coming into the year. They kept McCarthy. They didn't sign anyone in free agency of note. They, they were excited after that Cleveland game. I was excited week 1 after Cleveland, and they just cannot put it together. It doesn't feel like Mike Zimmer has been a real answer on the defensive side of the ball. I know they're banged up, but man, does anyone believe? Like you'd be surprised for a team that went 12-5 last year. You'd be surprised at how little Cowboy fans had any belief in their team this year. And it's tough, man. It's tough. I feel for him, and I don't think it's getting any better because you're playing the first place schedule. You have some tough games coming up. I don't have it right in front of me, but I know you play Atlanta this week. Somewhere down the line, you've got Philly coming up. You've got the Commanders coming up. Like you got some tough games coming your way, and it feels like it's gonna get worse before it gets better. It sucks for you guys that coming out of a bye week, that's what you look like. So if you're a Dallas fan, like I feel for you because it sucks because the Commanders look good. They look like a good team. Philly is still like pretty hot and cold. They're still pretty vulnerable, but they've put it together the last couple of weeks. They keep winning, and it just feels like the division's going to get away from you. And you guys are headed straight for 7-10, 8-9, like somewhere in there. And so I feel for Cowboys fans. Not too much because you're Cowboys, but I'm just saying logically, like it doesn't look good for you. I'll hit this and I'll get to a couple teams I'm excited about, and then we'll preview and kind of do all that. Shacknum says, as a 49er fan, in your opinion, do I trade away Mason now and get value before CMC might come back after the bye? Man, it's tough. I would, and here's why. I do think CMC's coming back after the bye. But the other thing is Isaac Guerrero looks good. He looks good. And he's going to continue to get more and more carries. So Mason will be a factor. I imagine this bye week he needs to help him get healthy and he'll be able to play and rock and roll. But they really like Isaac Guerrero. They used a third round pick on Isaac Guerrero. Like they're going to use him. They're going to use him, and he looked good. I was real critical of him against Seattle. He had one big run and then a bunch of stinker runs, and it wasn't like I was writing him off for his career, but I was like, this dude is not it yet. He does not. He doesn't look like a running back. Runs too high. Well, then uh, he gets in against this Cowboys team, and he looked like a true NFL running back. I know they're high on him, and they still love Mason, but for fantasy wise, like I'd probably dump Mason if I could. I wouldn't trade Worthy. Worthy's going to get his. I don't care that they traded for DeAndre Hopkins. You have Travis Kelce, who's kind of taken such a big step back that like Worthy's the guy. They used a first round pick on him, and he's their home run hitter. They're going to find ways to get him the ball. He's going to be a little Deshaun Jackson ish right now, meaning boomer bust, because he's still a rookie, so he's going to have plenty of weeks where he disappears. But I would hold on to him. Mason, like I imagine CMC's getting the start. He's going to get the start if he's healthy, and then they'll probably go Isaac Guerrero as the second back, and then Jordan Mason. They'll probably give him another week to get healthy. Like, because if you've got Guerrero and CMC playing, you probably don't need Mason also. So I would trade away Mason if you can get help for him. All right, a couple of the teams I think the arrow is pointing up. Okay, first is, and I hate to say this, but good golly, the Los Angeles Rams I think are not a team to mess with. I say that because look how much different they look with Cooper Kupp and with Puka Nacua. You still have Matthew Stafford. You still have Sean McVay. They still have, they still have holes on defense. And like that was Minnesota had to travel from Minnesota to Los Angeles on a short week, coming off a tough, like emotional loss to the Lions. Like I'm not saying in no way do I think the Rams are like Super Bowl contenders, but I'll say this as a 49ers fan, that's the team that scares me the most for the division. And the 49ers have plenty of stuff they've got to worry about for their own division. Like they need to get their own crap together before they can really lock in the division. But I'll tell you as a 49er fan, like I'm way more scared of the Rams than Seattle, and I'm more scared of the Rams than Arizona. I know Arizona has a couple good wins again over yours truly, the stupid 49ers. But they've had some close wins, one score games, beat the Chargers and then beat the Dolphins. I have a hard time seeing them keep it up all the rest of the year for the division, but I could be wrong. They have more problems on defense than the Rams probably. And I trust their quarterback and their head coach more than I trust the Cardinals with Kyler Murray and Gannon. But anyway, so the Rams, they're looking up. They're 3-4. They're playing a second place schedule. They play Seattle this weekend, and Seattle, man, looked awful against Buffalo at home. Geno Smith is complaining because like it felt like they were playing a home game, or excuse me, they were playing a road game. There's so many Buffalo fans there. They had guys like punching each other on the sidelines. They can't get a stop on defense. Like they have some issues. They have some stuff going on in Seattle. I think long term they're going to be okay in Seattle. But this year, man, it's not trending in the right direction for them. They've lost 4 of their last 5. So anyway, the Rams, Seattle this weekend. Not sure where it's at. We'll see it, but I like the Rams in that game. I think the Rams, if the Rams, you mark my words, if the Rams win on Sunday, they will be one of the most talked about teams in the media. Just like watch out for the Rams, here they come, type of thing. That's what you're going to see if they can beat Seattle. I would rather Seattle win this game, and just because I don't trust Geno Smith. So knock the Rams down a peg and whatever, make things weird for them again. But anyway, my second team, and then that I think is trending upwards. And I'm gonna eat my words a little bit on this because I was really down on them earlier before the year started. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Now that game against the Giants got closer than it probably should have. But Russell Wilson looks like, and you tell me, Shaq Numbs, like, what's the deal? Like, I was so down on Pittsburgh because like Russell Wilson sucked with Denver, with Sean Payton, who's supposed to be like a quarterback guru. and he looked terrible. Now that's probably a case of Sean McVay and Russ, like um, excuse me, gosh, I lost my train of thought because I was reading your comment. Their personalities didn't jive at all. Like Russ is like the one of the weirdest weirdos in the NFL, just personality wise. The biggest weirdo in the NFL is Deshaun Watson, by the way. Russ isn't a weirdo like that. He's just like his personality just doesn't jive with everybody. He's not everybody's cup of tea. But in Pittsburgh, like he looks a heck of a lot better than he did with he a lot better than he did in Denver. I'll tell you that. Let's see what you say. Russell Wilson is an issue on the field and on culture. He cannot connect to players. He can connect to players. I don't know if that's what you meant to say. All I'm saying is he's like throwing the ball downfield and he looks pretty good. I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback. I'm not saying he's Russell Wilson of old, but he looks better than he ever looked with Denver. And he is way better, light years better than what Pittsburgh has had in Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and all of that the last couple of years. On top of that, Pittsburgh has a championship defense, in my opinion. They don't look as fierce as they looked the first couple weeks of the year. But man, TJ Watt, I would give TJ Watt Defensive Player of the Year. I know my boy Fred Warner, and I think there's a case for Fred Warner because he affects the game. He's asked to do way more than TJ Watt is because he covers, he does everything. But the way TJ Watt affects the game, he's just lights out, man. So I think Pittsburgh is on the up. I think they look good. Um, and with if Russ can keep moving the ball downfield and keep teams honest, so they can't just stack the box against Najee and Jalen Warren, I think Pittsburgh looks pretty good. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I get that, and I don't disagree with that, but I think it's clear it's not that Sean Payton was a problem, but the relationship between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson was a problem. They were not going to get along. Sean Payton is old school, chew you out, no special, no favoritism type of stuff. And Russ is all about Russ, and he wants his own office. He wants whatever. I don't know. He just wants to be his own dude, which is weird. He's like a weird guy. So I get that. Players don't connect with him as well. The coach didn't connect with him. Now, I think of Mike Tomlin as an old school coach, but somehow he's made it work. Maybe it's because he's not in charge of the offense, so he doesn't care. Maybe Arthur Smith is just like cool with how Russ is. Whatever, they have figured something out with Russ. Again, I agree with you. I would not say Russ is back. I don't think Russ is back. But I would say like they have found something. They've already gotten more out of him than you would expect with Denver. That's good, guys. Go treat yourselves. Can you see that? Baja Blast Zero. Go treat yourselves. It's freaking great. Anyway, and I think Nix is probably a better fit for Sean Payton's personality. The jury's out. I know Bo Nix looked pretty good this past weekend. The story is still like we're still not sure what to make of Bo Nix, but it's clear that he jives better with Sean Payton than Russ did. All right, let's get to it. I went 12-4 last week in my picks. Shaq Nums, I don't have it in front of me, but do you remember what my winning percentage is on the season now? Like my winning percentage. I record with my phone, so I can't like pull out my phone. But I know I went 12-4, which was surprising. I did not think I did that well. Missed the Jets. Oh my gosh, missed the Jets game. That game was bad. I can't even remember off the top of my head a couple others. Oh, Dolphins over Cardinals was another one. I picked Vikings over Rams. That was number 3. I don't remember what number 4 was, but 12-4. I'll take it. That was pretty good. Let's talk about this week. Let's talk about this week coming up. We went back to DraftKings. Oh, it changed on me. Give me 1 second. Went back to DraftKings. FanDuel was trying to get me to sign into something, and I just didn't want to do it. So here we go. Is this the weirdest? There's a couple really weird lines on this. Oh man, something's happening. Got the ambulance, police sirens. Something's going on. Hopefully not in my neighborhood. If it's over a couple blocks. The Texans. Oh, okay. Really quick. Shaq Nums, this is what I skipped your one. I need your opinion on the no TD on Pickens. Okay, if you didn't see, he got this. He tapped the same foot down twice inbounds. They called it incomplete. That's a joke. It should be a catch. That's my official stance. You get 2 feet, even if that means the same foot. You hop twice, great. You hop twice and held onto the ball. That probably means it's a catch. So I would have that needs to be a catch. Okay, that I wanted to get to that. I forgot to tell you that. Okay, last thing. You want can you talk about that ending with the Bears in Washington? Want to hear your thoughts as a former coach? So I think everyone did what they were supposed to. I'm not talking about the dude talking trash. Funny enough, he's the one who tips the ball up uh, at the end. I'm just saying, everyone was where they were supposed to be. If it was like, hey, this guy ran free, the ball never got tipped, and it just like he just caught it clean in the end zone, like that would be a coaching thing. But everyone ran up to the ball. The ball was short of the end zone. The one thing you could argue is the guy is clearly trying to knock it down. He just doesn't time it very well, and when he hits the ball, it bounces it up in the air. Dude, if football is a lot of luck. There's a lot of luck that goes into football. It was a weird play that did not go their way. And you're going to scream at the guy, scream at him for talking trash to the fans and then losing the game. But there's not much coaching points to really go over, I wouldn't think, other than I had one person say, I don't think you would do this, but someone was saying like, if you know it's going to be short of the end zone, don't even try to bat it. Just like wait for the ball to come down and then tackle someone. Like that's a thought because you could have done that. Chicago players or Washington players probably would have just tried to catch the ball. But regardless, like that was more of a freak play than a poor coaching play. That makes sense. That's what I'll say. And then last 78-43 all time. I'll take it. 644 winning percentage. I'll take that. I'll take that. This is one of the weirdest lines I've seen. The Texans, man, are 1.5-point dogs to the Jets on Halloween. The Jets are a dumpster fire. They are so bad. Like, so freaking bad. That Devontae Adams trade has done nothing. You lost to the Patriots in a must-win game to feel any type of confidence in your team. You are now 2-6. It's crazy to me that they're favored. Now, short week on the road, but and Houston has Stephon Diggs is out for the year. Nico Collins is out for this game. So it is, I guess I get it on paper, but man, I would be, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would be taking the Texans all day in that because that's crazy to me. The Jets are bad. This is probably, is this the most disrespectful line, Shaq Nums? Denver is a 9-point dog to Baltimore. Denver, who is 5-2, correct? They're 5-2, right? And Baltimore just coming off of a really weird loss to Cleveland. Can we talk about Baltimore for one quick second? Baltimore now has 2 really questionable losses. Okay, 5-3. 5-3. Either way, though, like I don't know, 9 point. I'm not. I don't think you guys should be favored, but this game should have been like 5 points or 4.5. I feel like, but man, they do not believe in Denver. But Baltimore has shown a couple times now that they are capable of laying an egg. Now, like that game against Las Vegas, weird. Losing to the Raiders, really weird week 2. Losing the Browns, like I understand a little more. Just division game. You got the power of Jameis Winston, who like is definitely better than Deshaun. So they're just a better team with Jameis. But man, the Ravens are hard to get a read on because they dominated the Buccaneers the week before, and a lot of people had them as like the number 1 team in their power rankings, like that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, man, you just get dog water from the Ravens. Just can't beat Cleveland. But it's a division game, so I'm not like worried about Baltimore necessarily. But they've shown they're capable of crap games. They're capable of losing a stupid game because they've done it more than once now. One time a season is like fine, whatever. Even the best teams do that. Like the Chiefs losing the Raiders last year. But you do it a couple times in the first half of the season. Is why I'm so worried about the 49ers. Losing to the Rams, losing to the Cardinals. Like that is pretty disheartening. It makes me have concern for them. Interesting matchup. It's the number 1 yards per offensive play, the Ravens versus number 1 yards per play allowed defense. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be real interesting. I don't think I said I'm taking the Texans on the Thursday night game. Actually, I say that out loud. And I know I was just saying, what is this line? This line is really weird. I think I'm going to go to the Jets. I think the Jets are so desperate for a win. They're short week at home. I think I'm going to roll with the Jets. That's crazy. But I think they'll know Stephon Diggs. So now you just have Tank Dell and Joe Mixon. Um, I think the Jets are going to do whatever it takes. They're finally going to get that monkey off their back. So Jets. I'm going Baltimore in the next one. But I'll say Denver covers because they do have a really good defense. Denver covers. If they can contain Derrick Henry and force Lamar to throw from the pocket over and over and over again, you might have a chance. We'll see what Deontay Johnson does in that game. Miami at Buffalo. This would be a classic. Like I'm a Buffalo like truther and apologist. Like I really like Buffalo, even though I picked the Jets to win the division. But I'm like a fan of Buffalo and Josh Allen. This would be a classic, like, oh, they just lost to the Cardinals. Buffalo's going to smack them. And then Miami just comes in and wins. Like, that would be the most classic kind of AFC East game, and disappointing Buffalo Bills game. But I'm going to go Buffalo. I think Miami's going to play them tough. And I bet Miami covers. Like, I would, if I had to put money, I would say Miami's going to cover. But I don't know. They're playing in Buffalo. That makes a difference. And yeah, who knows? Who knows with Tua? Could be out at any moment. Any moment. Commanders Giants, 3.5-point favorites for the Commanders. I'm gonna go the Commanders, but the Giants are frisky, man. They are a decent quarterback away from being actually a really pretty decent team. Um, Daniel Jones at times, like he makes good throws. He's at times he looks like all right, like he's all right. He's actually kind of a good, like average, maybe slightly above average quarterback on some throws and some plays, and then he's just going to throw the ball to the other team and turn it over. But their running back Tracy Jr. He's a freaking baller. They found something in him, which is exciting. They have Malik Neighbors, which is exciting. I don't trust their GM. I think Dayball's the right guy. I would give Dayball another year. I would get rid of their GM and I would just try to replenish. I would be really aggressive in this offseason. You got to find a quarterback. And I would just be really aggressive in the offseason with some of this stuff. But I'm going to go Commanders. I'm going to go Commanders on the road. Vegas at the Bengals. How in the world are the Bengals favored by 7? That's crazy to me. They are not a good team. If there was a whiff of all whiffs, it was me picking the Bengals to be the 1 seed in the AFC. Their defense has so many problems, and Joe Burrow has not lived up to the hype this year. He's had some good games. So, and I shouldn't talk like I have watched every Bengals snap because I haven't. I've box score watched and watched the highlights, but you just feel like if Joe Burrow was living up to Joe Burrow hype, they would have a better record by now. Not saying they can't turn it around, and I feel pretty good that they're going to beat the Raiders at home, but you don't know. I'll take the Bengals, but I'll say the Raiders cover. Cowboys at the Falcons. I don't know if you're still there, Scott, but I think I know how you feel. I would not touch the Cowboys in a game on the road like this, though you guys have been better on the road. I don't know if Micah's playing this week. Does anybody know? Anybody, if you're watching this, hit me up in the chat. Let me know. Is Micah Parsons going to play this week? Because that'll make a difference. Because Kirk cannot run. So his whole game is based on getting the ball out quick. And with Micah there, you stand a chance of forcing some turnovers. I would say Atlanta's going to win though. That's what I'm going to say. Dallas needs to get back to their old ways. It sounds like Deron Bland might play, so that'll help. Dallas needs to force some turnovers. Dallas, if you can get a win here, like I know the rest of your season is tough, but if you can get a win here and get back to 500, maybe Micah comes back and the defense looks dominant, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, like screw it, 4-4, one game at a time. We will just start punishing people on defense. Like maybe you get something going, but I'm taking Atlanta, and I would expect them to cover. Chargers, Browns. My Chargers, my stupid Chargers that cannot beat the Cardinals. If you're just joining me, I'm actually a 49ers fan, but I have a soft spot for the Chargers because I love Jim Harbaugh. Who knows? I don't know what to expect. Chargers Browns. Maybe the Jameis Winston magic is just like a one game wonder. What I can tell you this is Jameis is going to throw that rock a billion times, and he'll probably go for 300 yards. It just depends on how many interceptions is he going to throw. How many third down balls is he going to throw and complete? You know what I'm saying? Or how many sacks is he going to take on third down? Stuff like that. Um, I kind of like the Browns in this game. Am I really going to pick the Browns over the Chargers? I don't think I can do that. I'm going to go with the Chargers, but Browns at home, they're feeling themselves a little bit because of Jameis. They probably feel like, man, maybe we can like right this thing a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's too far gone for them, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers. Chargers have to get the run game going. Chargers have to get the run game going, and if they can do that, they'll be in good shape. If they can't, then Jameis could give them some problems. Does not seem like Micah's going to play. I took the Falcons. Um, but man, that's a tough because Micah almost played. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Sorry, chat. Because Micah almost played against the 49ers. That was will Micah play? Oh gosh, it's not even typing. Will Micah play week 9? Uh, YouTube, Sam Williams, 5 hours. Let's see. What's the official. Sorry, this is really boring. If you're said Michael Parsons, while improving every week, still not ready to practice. Yeah, doesn't bode well. You're right. That's so weird because like there was like optimism that he would play against uh the 49ers and then he didn't. So I thought for sure he'd be back this week. Yeah, if he's not playing, I'm definitely taking Atlanta. I'm gonna go the Chargers, but that's a scary game with Jameis in there. And the Browns might be rolling, feeling themselves a little bit. The Deshaun Watson like bad vibe energy is like finally gone. So maybe they just and Stefanski's a good coach, man. That's actually a really good game. That's a good game to watch if you're around for the early games. That's probably a good one to watch because the Chargers need it. The Chargers need it to keep pace. I don't think they're going to win the West, but they need it to keep pace in the AFC for that playoff spot. Saints Panthers. Oh, who cares about this game? How are the Saints 7.5-point favorites? I know the Panthers are bad, but man, the Saints are not good. They got guys hurt left and right. They had 10 days to prepare for the Panthers, though, so maybe that's what it is. I'm taking the Saints. Sounds like Derek Carr is going to play. Um, he's on track to at least, so fine, fine. We will. We'll just say, was this a London game? No, that's not a London game. Anyway, toilet bowl of the week: Patriots Titans. Who cares, man? If you're a Titans fan, you want to lose. You want to lose because you need a higher pick to get a quarterback. Will Levis isn't the guy, and you can just wash that and move on. I'm gonna take the Patriots in this game. 3.5. Yeah, definitely give me the Patriots. They've shown they can be like a little feisty. I don't think they're a great team, but they play hard. Beat the Jets last week. I don't believe in the Titans at all, so give me the Patriots. Jaguars, Eagles, man, I think the Eagles have found a recipe that works, which is rely on Saquon as much as you can and then take a few deep shots. You know, you got a good chance to connect with him because as flawed of a quarterback as Jalen is, in my opinion, like he throws a really pretty deep ball. Jacksonville, like they played Green Bay tough. Green Bay had to kick a field goal at the very end of the game to win it. So that is, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had more faith in the Jaguars because I'm not an Eagles fan. I want the Eagles to lose, but I don't know how I could pick Jacksonville in this spot. It's hard to think that Jacksonville is going to put together back-to-back really good weeks of football. So I'm gonna go with Philly. Bears Cardinals. I really need the Bears to win this game. Please, Chicago, win this game. Beat the Cardinals. Please do that for me. That would make me real happy. I don't have a ton of faith because I think the Bears have been a little fugazi. Their list of teams they've beaten have not been impressive, though they should have beaten Washington. I'll give you that. You should have beaten Washington. You didn't. Tough last second play as time expired. I really want Chicago to beat Arizona, and guess I'll take Chicago. You know what? I'm gonna say they're gonna play with pride after that disheartening loss to the Commanders, and I think they come out and they get it going. And it's DeAndre Swift up the wazoo. You need more from Caleb Williams, though. If you're going to win this game, you need more from Caleb Williams because he had a pretty bad stat line. It was mostly DeAndre Swift. I think they're going to go DeAndre Swift heavy. The Cardinals do not have a good defense. And I think Chicago's defense is stout enough that they can get some stops. Also, Arizona's coming off back-to-back big wins. Feels like they're due to kind of lay an egg here. The next two games of the week, I feel like games of the week. You've got Detroit at Green Bay. Woof. Now, Shaq Nums, I need you to help me out. Josh isn't in the chat. Shaq Nums, is Jordan Love going to play? Because he was hurt. Have you seen any reports on Jordan Love? I understand that Malik Willis is, 2-0 in games he's started, but those games were against like the Titans and I don't remember who the other one was. It wasn't very impressive though. Because if Malik Willis has to play against the Lions, they're going to lose. And actually, if Jordan Love plays against the Lions, I'm taking the Lions on the road. They're 3.5-point favorites on the road. Guys, listen, if you're a Packers fan and you're here, listen to me. You have every right to be super excited and optimistic about your team. You might have the most dangerous wide receiver core in all of the NFL. Okay. It's kind of like you don't have a top 5 wide receiver on your team, but you might have like 3 top 12 receivers on your team or top 15. Like it's this really, and a ton of speed. And Matt LaFleur is a good coach and a good play caller. But listen to me about Jordan Love. That man has to stop turning the football over. He has to stop turning the ball over. If he does not stop turning the ball over, you guys are going to be this like one and done team in the playoffs every year. Or like last year, you're going to win a wild card game and then lose in the second round because you cannot turn the ball over. Joe, I don't know what his stat. Let's just look. I think it's 12-9 in, let's just ESPN.com really quick. I know I'm not sharing it with you right now. Let's just take a quick gander. Okay. I guess I could share it with you really quick. Let's just see. If you are in, stay with me. Those of you in the chat, just watching, just stay with me here. Okay. Let's just look at this. Okay. This is mind blowing to me. Now, he is one of the most polarizing players in the NFL because he can make every single throw Josh Allen can make, Patrick Mahomes can make, Joe Burrow can make. He can make every single throw. But he has played in 6 games. He has 15 touchdowns. Incredible. He has 9 interceptions in 6 games. He has 9 interceptions in 6 games. Did you hear me correct? Did you hear me? He has 9 interceptions in 6 games. What is that pace? Golly, it's 18 weeks, 6 times, what is 6 times 3 is 18, even though you don't play one less than that. But he's on pace right now for 25 interceptions. So that's quick math. I'm an accountant, but I'm not great at math. I just know how to do accounting stuff. He's on pace for like 25 interceptions. I don't care. That's like the Jameis 30 for 30 club when he threw 30 touchdowns and 30 picks. That's like the pace he's on right now. Yikes. Now he won't because he doesn't have 12 games left. He's got, what do they have left? 8 games, 9 games left. So whatever. But you get my point. That is, there's too many interceptions. That is a lot. And you will be limited if you're going to throw that many picks. So he's got to tighten the screws a little bit. Love is determined to play and it's realistic. Yeah, I bet it. I'm sure he's going to try to play. I'm sure he will. They need it, because they're not beating them with Malik Willis. This isn't the Titans. But anyway, that's how I feel. Jordan Love is like, he's like must see TV, but it didn't change. I thought it would change. He's must see TV, but it's because he's like a much better version of Jameis Winston right now. Like, is that offensive? Maybe. Do I care? No, because it's true. Because he was throwing picks last year too. He had, He had one really good half of a season. And when I say good half of a season, I'm not just saying like box score. I'm saying he made some of the most incredible throws you've ever seen. But he's also thrown tons of interceptions. Tons of interceptions. And that is the number one correlation to losing games, and that is throwing interceptions, man. So that's what I got to say about that. I'm taking the Lions. I'm taking the Lions. Second game of the week. These two are really. It's game of the week for me because I'm a 49ers fan. I really care about the NFC West. Rams, Seahawks. Rams are favored, guys. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Rams are the. If you're a 49er fan, they're the biggest threat to win the division if they get hot. They already have a game on you. Well, not in the standings, but they own a tiebreaker if you have the same record because you lost that stupid game after being up 10 going in the fourth. The Rams are favored by 1.5, everybody. That's what Vegas thinks of the Rams. The Seahawks should be worried. Now, I think the Seahawks, after that piss poor showing against the Bills, you're going to get the best version of the Seahawks this weekend because they do not want to lose 5 of 6. But I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm taking the Rams, but I think it's going to be a dogfight. This feels like a field goal, last second field goal as time expires kind of game. Whoever has the ball last kind of game. And I'm rolling with McVay and Stafford over McDonald and freaking Geno Smith. I'll tell you that much. Is Geno still leading the league in passing yards? I'm back on that. Yeah, Geno, Brock Purdy's first. You got Geno, Baker, Kirk, Brock, and Lamar Jackson. Geno has 2197. Lamar Jackson has 2,099 yards. So there's less than 100 yards that separate 1 through 5. Man, Brock only has 10 touchdowns. That's not that good. Geno only has 8 touchdowns. He's 8-7. Man, what a weird year right now. What a weird year. I'm going the Rams. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, were you? I hope I'm wrong, but Rams look good. Trunk or treat, dude. Give me. Why I wasn't invited, bro? We had trunk or treat last week with the kids. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. You're good, man. Don't worry. Don't worry. No, don't go Cowboys. Don't say that on my channel. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, Colts Vikings. That's weird. This game got flexed into Monday night or into Sunday night. I don't know what it was before. I think it was like Eagles Jaguars or something that got flexed out of Sunday Night Football. But I guess Colts Vikings. It might be all right with Joe Flacco there now. But Scott, you don't mean that. I know you don't mean that. Don't act like you mean that. I know you hate Seattle as much as I do. You lived there. You know what they're all about. Joe Flacco, I think they're going to make this a game, but I don't see Minnesota losing 3 in a row, especially when they've had 10 days to prepare. And Indy kind of has some drama going on because of that hole they benched. Anthony Richardson, man. Sorry guys. Had Mexican food for dinner, so like my I got some bubble guts going in my stomach right now. Anyway, Minnesota's not going to lose. I don't see it. Not 3 in a row. Lastly, Tampa Bay at the Chiefs. I talked about this at the very beginning. Tampa Bay is in a bad spot. They are in a terrible spot because they've lost 2 in a row now. You've lost your 2 number 1 receivers. And without a doubt, Baker is a different quarterback without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but especially Mike Evans. And Mike Evans is out the next 2 games at least. They're going through it. Now, I would love Tampa. I would love you to win because I don't want to play as a 49ers fan, like the desperation that you will get from Tampa Bay if they lose this game, have lost 3 in a row. Now you've got to play them like they're going to have a ton of desperation. I'd rather not play a desperate Buccaneers team, but regardless, I think you're in for a rough week. Rough week. This would be the kind of game the Chiefs lose, though. Again, the Chiefs aren't going to go undefeated. I do not believe they will go undefeated. This would be one of those spots where you're like, oh man, Bucks have everything going against them, and then they just kind of pull out a win because I don't know, the Chiefs just don't play that well. But they are at home anyway, so I'm going to go the Chiefs. If you couldn't tell, Shaq Nums, I'm going the Chiefs. Going the Chiefs in this one, and that's what I got. Anybody got questions, trade questions before I hop off of here? 49ers got to hope. They are what? Desperate? Hope they're going to win. I hope they do. I really hope they do. Josh, would you agree with me? I don't know if you caught that part that I just hopped on I'm more worried about the Rams as a threat for the division than I am the Seahawks. The Rams look pretty good. And the teams I'm worried about for the division right now, I would probably say I would probably say I'm most worried about the Rams. I'm probably more worried about the Cardinals than the Seahawks just because Kyle Shanahan has owned the Seahawks and they're like fighting each other on the sideline. Like they have real problems. Seahawks and Cardinals, I'll give Seattle a little more respect. I'm more worried about Seattle than the Cardinals, probably. Um, I don't necessarily believe in Kyler, but I don't believe in Geno Smith either. But I think they probably have a better roster, top to bottom. But the Rams are the team to be worried about, 100%. 100%. Is the bye week going to win against the 49ers? Well, that depends. Does CMC make it through the bye week, and is he able to practice next week? Because if he comes back, then no, bye week loses. 49ers win the bye week. If they get Juwan Jennings back, definitely win the bye week. They'll definitely win the bye week. If Hufanga comes back, I don't know if Hufanga's going to come back. He's going to try and play with a cast on his arm. I don't know when he's supposed to do that, but that's what I would say about that, Scott. Broncos got to make a trade. We can't be content, right? We've got the hardest schedule remaining. We're the 5th seed as of right now. What are they going to trade for, though? Here's what I think about the Broncos. Yeah, who do they need? Here's what I think about the Broncos. It doesn't really matter because you're only going to go as far as Bo Nix will take you. So will Bo Nix keep progressing? Will he keep here, I'm going to take this off, sorry. Will he keep getting better? Because if he does, you'll probably be all right. If he doesn't, then it won't matter who you trade for. Your run game isn't strong enough to carry you on offense completely. Like it still is a complementary piece. You're not going to what I'm saying is you're not going to survive some multiple interception games from Bo Nix right now. So not especially because you got a hard schedule the rest of the way. Like you just need Bo Nix to play well. So in that vein, can you get a receiver who's going to help you more? Maybe that helps. Or like you said, David Njoku, like that would be a nice piece that will help him. So from that regard, yeah, that would be good. That would be good if you can get it. I don't know if you can. I don't know what's out there or what Sean Payton really wants, but you're this far with a rookie quarterback. You might just ride it out. This is not your final roster. I imagine they want to hold on to some of those picks, especially after giving up so many picks in the Russell Wilson trade. They probably want to hold on to a lot of those so that they can, keep rebuilding through the draft. One more good draft from the Broncos and like a couple of good like free agent signings. Like you guys might be going into next year like feeling really good about yourselves. So I don't think I would. I mean, I don't. You don't think you're a Super Bowl team, do you? I don't think anyone thinks that outside of Denver. Some Denver fans might feel that way, but I think most realistic fans are like, "Man, we might make the playoffs, and that would be huge." But I'm not all in on trading. That's why I was against the Devontae Adams trade. I'm not all in on guys like being buyers at the deadline, teams being buyers at the deadline when like you're not a Super Bowl team. If a trade is not going to put you into Super Bowl contention, like I don't want to do it. I'd rather just keep building and hope you can make the playoffs while you're doing your thing. But if the trade isn't going to put you into that Super Bowl contender status, then I wouldn't make that trade. That's just how I feel. It's kind of like Seattle made a couple trades that I think help them. I guess if you can make the trade, get a young player that's going to be on your team for multiple seasons, then maybe it's fine. Then fine. You don't have to be a Super Bowl contender. And I think the Rams did that, or not the Rams, the Seahawks did that. They got a D lineman. They got Jones, the middle linebacker from Tennessee, and I think those were like good picks. See you, Scott. Those were like good picks, but because those guys should be around long term. But most of the trades that happen at the deadline are just like you're just hoping for the best that season. Most of the time is like a rental. Because these teams, if you're a bad team, you're not trading away young players like that are under contract that you like, that are good. You're just not trading those guys away because you're a rebuilding team. You need those guys. You only trade away like aging players that are like in their final year of their contract that want to go to a contender. That's kind of why like I get why the Browns wouldn't trade Myles Garrett, but he's kind of the one like, man, we need to rebuild, and his trade value is so astronomical. You're getting multiple first round picks for him that like I could maybe see them talk themselves into it, even though they probably won't. So I don't know. I David Njoku would be like a good move for you guys. That would be one that I would feel really good about. I don't know what he would command, probably like a fourth, fifth round pick. And if that's what they'll accept, then great. Like that would be a home run for you guys, I would think. I don't know if the Browns are going to do that. I think they want to if they can win this weekend against the Chargers, like they're probably not in sell mode. They're probably like, screw it, we're going to ride this thing out with famous Jameis and eat them W's. So you'll have to see. When's the deadline? Isn't it like November 5th is the election? That's coming up. Go vote, people. What day is the deadline? Is it the 3rd? I can't remember. Anyway, it's like after this week, right? It's like after. It's like I don't know. Whatever. Someone let me know. But it's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah. Anyway, that's all. That's all I got. I am on trade deadline watch. Like I love trades. I love these younger generation of GMs that are out here making trades now because of they're just younger. Grew up. They grew up playing Madden like me, making trades, wheeling and dealing in Madden, and now they are in that actual position and they're doing the same thing. They're making trades, not as high profile trades as like myself, who trade for Michael Vick on every team I could ever get my hands on, but they're making trades, and so there's a lot of stuff going on that's going to happen. Hopefully, the Niners, as a Niners fan, hopefully the Niners can pull the trigger on some defensive linemen. At least one would be nice. An edge rusher would be good too, but we'll see what happens there. Election day at 3 p.m. So Tuesday at 3 p.m. Texas time. So 4 p.m. Eastern time is the deadline. Good to know. Thank you for filling me in. That's kind of what's coming up, especially if you're a Niners fan. You got a bye week right now. But yeah, thanks for the hang, guys. That's all I got. Hopefully, we get some good football this weekend. I'll probably have another video come out Friday or Saturday. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do less just strictly 49er content. I think I haven't had as many subscribers come from 49er content, which breaks my heart because I'm a 49er fan. But I might just start doing more like the league as a whole, and just like hit headlines from the league, that kind of stuff. I did some of that earlier in the year. And definitely before the season started, I was doing that. So I'm going to go back to that, maybe do some like power rating stuff, look at playoff picture updates, stuff like that. I just the stuff that I like to talk about, and we'll just see what happens. But you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you're here right now in the chat, there's 5 of you. If you have not subscribed, please, that would be the biggest solid. Even if you're going to subscribe and never like look at my channel again, it still means a lot. Helps the algorithm. But go subscribe. I love doing this. A lot of fun. And anyway, look for my videos. I have another one coming out this weekend. And keep your eyes out for them trades. Them trades is exciting time of year in the NFL. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a good one. I'm out.